So we're gonna be printing our third color, which is meant to be the yellow. But because we're in the pandemic, I don't have loads of materials, so I don't have yellow to apply. So I'm gonna use the closest thing I have, which is an orange, and I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of white just to have a little bit of light colors going on. But before I start mixing my ink, I want to show you that in this case I have cut all the red that we had left except the areas that will have the black and that will have the yellow. This is because the yellow areas are very small, so the ears and these areas, the decoration areas, and some parts here at the horns, as well as the black line is quite fine. So what I thought of doing is printing the lightest color first, and nevertheless that some areas of the black will be printed in yellow. It doesn't matter because black covers it all. So we're going to move on to mixing the color. Now you can see I've managed to get a kind of like a plastic, a mylar type thing, so I don't have to use the cardboard anymore. I'm going to put a piece of white paper so that you can see better. And what I'm going to do is pull out a little bit of the orange, which I haven't used in a while, so it's really hard. And I'm going to mix it with a little bit of white. And I'm going to mix the color before I start rolling it, just to check that it's the right. It's still a little bit too strong, so I'm going to push it down to be lighter. Always work with small amounts and increase the amount if you need to. Mix it well before adding any more. I'm going to go with the whole white. I would have preferred to have like the primary colors working, but this is what I have at the moment. Okay. So, I'm going to start rolling. Remember to roll you don't want to use the whole mylar. You want to keep yourself the size of your roller. That's just to keep a bit of consistency on the amount of ink that there is in the roller. So at this stage, I'm going to start rolling. Let me push this to the side and bring this into the camera so that you can see that really I don't need to be worried about the areas of black, as they will be printed last and they will be worked. Remember to come back to recharge. Change direction and work in different directions as well. So you're adding layers. You don't want to grab the whole, you know, make, when you hear that funny sound and you're adding too much at the beginning, because it just doesn't work. Especially when we're trying to work manually using a baron, it just doesn't work. Okay. Now remember that we've got some areas, some big open areas, so it's very difficult with this small roller not to fall into them. If we had a bigger roller, the relief will allow it for it not to go in, but because I'm using a small roller at the moment, it's, you can't avoid using the falling into those areas. So what we're going to do now is work with the talc. Remember, we're using a little bit of talc, just placing it here, and then I'm going to use a brush. So with a brush, I'm grabbing some of the talc and I'm just going to place it on the areas that I don't want the orange to print. Be careful not to apply it to other areas. Okay. Once we've done that, I think the most logical way of working would be printing onto a piece of paper without, I'm going to be printing let's do it that way. The first print, remember, it's not going to be on our previous colors, because I want to make sure that I've have enough ink on the lino